How long does it take to become an entrepreneur? 1 second. I'm an entrepreneur. There, I decided. See, that isn't the real question. The question is, how do you become one, like really become one? And you have to learn 3 skills. You've got to learn to market, get a lead. You have to learn to sell the lead, make it a client, and you got to understand cash flow and how to pay bills. And you have to worry about debt. You've got to like manage debt, but you don't get out of debt. So many of you have all the myths and you live a myth. You don't live the reality of how money works. So let's get to it. What is the reality of entrepreneurship? I'm going to keep digging into this. And then number 2, the essential skills you need and the structure you need to make sure you don't overpay tax once you really become an entrepreneur. And then last, let's talk about the team you're going to need and the systems you're going to need. Because the reason why most entrepreneurs don't win is lack of team, lack of systems, lack of process. So it's actually go time if you're serious about being an entrepreneur. You know, I make fun of people in the reality of being an entrepreneur. I say, are you an emotional entrepreneur or a real one? And your balance sheet, your P&L and your balance sheet will tell us the truth, right? Numbers don't lie, people do. So what does your income say? What do your expenses say? And are you actually living as a corporate structure, a corporate life, LLC, S Corp, C Corp in America, or are you living as a sole proprietor, sole trader in other parts of the world? It doesn't work. So again, what's the reality of being an entrepreneur? Well, first of all, I wouldn't jump into being an entrepreneur without a mentor. I have had mentors since I was 17. It ranges from a bank president who is kind of casual but started me out at 17. And then I moved to Bob Proctor, $25,000 at 21 years old. And the rest is history. I've paid millions to be mentored and coached to get and acquire all this knowledge and resources and really a Rolodex. So your skill set is a big piece of it, but really an entrepreneur does one thing. It solves problems. So the more problems you solve, the more money you're going to make. The hardest money you're ever going to make is your first 100,000 because you don't know how to market really, you don't know how to sell, be in a sales system, and you don't understand cash flow. You're used to getting an ACH every 2 weeks and just dropped in your little bank account. You're used to having money just come to you. Now you got to go generate it, which means you got to have the content. You've got to like understand what's the problem you're solving. I'm solving the problem of financial literacy. Financial conversations are completely wrong. Financial behavior is wrong. It's segregated, not integrated. So I'm fixing that problem. It's a lifetime problem, which is why I know I've had a long career. I made this decision pretty strategically with Bob Proctor. He said, money, sex, and God. Pick one of those topics, you'll have a career of a lifetime because no one's going to solve all those problems. There will always be problems. There's always economic change. But being an entrepreneur, there is some set of a mindset of you've got to get up and generate. It's just not going to happen because you decided one day to say, I want to be a coach. I want to write a book. I want to be in real estate. So now you have to go like create the right actions. Mentors are the fastest way that I've ever got there. And then being in their environment. Like I went to work with, not for the cash flow team when I quit Chevron as an exercise physiologist. I jumped out of there, became cash flow master distributor. Total identity crisis. And I quit my job immediately because I had the resources to do it. Meaning I had put a lot of money away knowing that I was ready to transition and I wanted to go full into something else. Bob Proctor introduced me to Robert and Sharon. Rich Dad Poor Dad was right there. But inside of that created a lot of mentorship as well. So basically my company worked for their company. But it was that environment of seeing how they worked. They didn't do dishes, ladies. They don't even clean their house. I haven't cleaned my house since I was 21 years old. I don't even probably know how to turn on a vacuum, and I don't care. Someone else can do that. It's not a less than task. It's not one that's in my skill set. So stay in your skill set, strengthen your skill sets, hire everything else. Let's go to the next one. So we've been talking about marketing and sales. Those are the skill sets you need. You've got to learn to market. You have to learn to sell. Michael Gerber wrote the best book, The Original E-Myth, talks about a pie maker who made the best pies. And she decides to quit her job because she wants her own pie shop. Well, she didn't know how to market, didn't know how to sell, and it went bankrupt. So you can be the best at the thing that makes you an employee. So the first thing you're going to give up as an entrepreneur is probably the thing you love to do, i.e. make pies. Like I still do some fulfillment, but I don't. I have a whole team of over a dozen coaches that do a lot of our coaching work because it's too much. And that's something I can give to them with a lot of excellence and confidence while I stay marketing and selling, this is marketing. Being out on my YouTube channel, it's a marketing channel, right? It's getting you informed, A, and then it's getting you closer, and I'm saying, come let me be your mentor and coach. You have to become that. What's the problem you're solving, and how do you effectively get to your community of people that you want to serve and solve the problem of. I always ask a student when they first come into our big table, which by the way, if you want to grab some merchandise, it's our 25th anniversary of our big table. We've been doing this for 25 years. You add on the 5+ years with the Rich Dad team. I've been over 30 years. Didn't think that I would ever say that number because it sounds like I'm really old, but I'm not. I've just begun a whole new chapter. And actually that chapter starts around September 1st this year for me, meaning my last kid's off to college and it's just me. And it's going to be a whole nother chapter. It's going to be fun. So I want you to think of your life in different chapters. There's a whole range of how you become an entrepreneur. Mostly right now in the beginning for a lot of you, you've got to get past that $100,000 mark because you don't know how to do a lot of it. So let's get past there as fast as you can. Then let's start doubling, right? Go from 100 to 200. Honestly, if you get really good teams and systems, which I'm going to talk about next, you can go from 100 to 1 million in 1 year. I went from 360 my first year to 1.7 million with one person. So the last thing I want to talk about is the teams and systems. Before I do that, I want you to subscribe to my channel, click that notification button. I need you here 5 days a week, you and your family and your kids. So come up with something every day, like have this be part of your breakfast conversation or lunch conversation, or you're driving your kids to sports. What did you learn on the YouTube channel today? Make this like a pillar in your family's financial literacy. So you're using my channel, you can use the books to engage your family to have them become entrepreneurs with you. So if you're a new entrepreneur, and I don't care how old you are, bring your kids along so they get this education and environment sooner than later. Now, the teams and systems are critical. The number one person I would hire, even though I know you want your house cleaned and you want to get rid of like shopping for groceries and doing like those kind of tasks, because there are people who are amazing at it and that's their skill set and job. So I hire those companies to handle those things. It's not less than, it's just a different business, not one I want to do. Clean my house, so I let other people do it. And she loves making my house stunning, and she does an extraordinary job. My point is, a lot of you don't know how to hire. And women, you're the worst, you don't hire soon enough. And if I had to look back at my career, I wish I would have hired sooner. I did hire fast because Bob was pushing me and mentoring me and guiding me, but not fast enough. The first person you should hire that went and helped me go from 360,000 to 1.7 was a scheduler, a setter, whatever you want to call them, someone who's going to look through your database and call every lead and set a calendar for you. So you're going to have time blocks where all you're going to do is ask, tell, asks. If you don't know what those are, I'm going to give you 2 tickets to my Millionaire Intensive. You need to come and learn how to live corporate life as an entrepreneur, how to get team, how to get systems. But if you only had one person to hire, it's somebody to schedule your time and you pack your calendar with purposeful, sales-driven appointments. So you can rewind this video and listen to that again. You want purposeful, sales-driven conversations every 30 minutes for at least 2 to 3 hours a day until you get that muscle of selling up and running. You have to be in a repetition when you learn sales. You're going to get in a rhythm. So what I don't want you to do is do a sales call at 7 in the morning and then do another one at 11. In the meantime, you have all sorts of other chaos going on. You want to be very focused because one call is going to inform the next call. By the time you get done with 2 or 3 hours, you got a talk track and you're out of a great rhythm. Then you pick up the rhythm and you accelerate the next day. So number one person to hire is a setter scheduler, and you need a rapid marketing system. So that right at $2,500 for the whole year, my team will get you up marketing the way that I market at the beginning stages. So if you go to askrms.com and review it, you can start marketing because you've got to get a landing page. You've got to get up and running. Ask Loral is probably my number one campaign we've ever done in the history of my career. You need something like that brings people to you. They click on a link, they ask a question, now they're in my funnel, and I have a whole series of over a dozen setter schedulers, and all they do is pack other salespeople's schedules. So it's a cycle, it's a system, it's a business. It is not just casual, I'm gonna get up and what do I wanna do today? I wanna work on my book. Working on your book isn't going to make you any money. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to put cash flow at the front of everything that drives you in the morning. Not what the cash flow drives you, it's the thing you're doing to create the cash to ask for the sale and change a life. That's how you sell. That's how you become a great entrepreneur. If you have any question, want to have an appointment with our team, our phone number is below. You can text it, you can email, call in our office, say, I need a gap analysis. I need to understand how to build a team and system so I can learn to be a great entrepreneur. If you have any questions for me, go to askloral.com, AskLoral, ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.